John Wallace with Wild Game Cook in Remington, and today we've got a great venison recipe. We're gonna do a simple reverse-seared venison backstrap out on the camp chef. Again, with all of my recipes, you'll mostly note that we wanna drain all of this fluid away from our meat. It's gonna help it taste better, and it's gonna help it sear better. If there's moisture in there, it's gonna steam and not give you a nice brown sear that we're looking for. Before putting it in the fridge, I also like to add some paper towels to the top just to ensure that it draws as much of that fluid away from the meat as possible. So we've just taken our venison loin out of the fridge and we've lightly rubbed it with some extra virgin olive oil. This is gonna do a couple things for us. It's gonna add a little bit of fat to this very lean piece of meat. It's also gonna just help with the flavor profile a little bit, and it's also gonna help as a great binder when we add our steak seasoning to it. You wanna make sure you get all the sides, coat them evenly with your favorite seasoning. This is a thick piece of meat, so you're gonna wanna make sure you season it very, very well. Ideally, you wanna let this rest for about 20 minutes before grilling. It just allows the salts to sort of absorb into the meat. It'll help flavor, it'll help tenderize it, and then we're gonna take it outside and we're gonna reverse sear it at about 275 for about 20 to 25 minutes. This is a larger cut of backstrap, and we wanna help bring the temperature up slowly so that at the end product, after we sear it, it's gonna have a lot of medium rare to medium meat from crust to crust. All right, we're now outside. We've got the camp chef dialed up to 275, and our objective is to bring that piece of meat up to temperature slowly. We're shooting for about 110 degrees. We're gonna then sear it to about 128 to 132. So we're gonna go ahead and add in our meat probe. We're gonna try to look to get right in the center. So center this way, and that's gonna help make sure that we do our best not to overcook this very, very, very nice piece of meat. So we're at 104, we're getting close. What we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this over so that we ensure we're getting better, more even cooking. So our loin has got up to 115 internal. We're gonna go ahead and pull it. We're gonna sit it on the cutting board here to rest. Anytime you're cooking with cast iron, you wanna make sure you do the best you can to preheat the entire pan. So the best way to do that is to start on a very low heat and make sure that you slowly move the temperature up so that your entire pan, not just the cooking surface, but all the sidewalls are hot. That's going to ensure when we put our meat in or anything else we're cooking, it's not going to drop in temperature dramatically. In this case, with a backstrap, by making sure it's properly preheated, it's going to give us a very nice sear. So our cast iron is preheated, so we're just going to add a little bit of olive oil in there just to help give a little bit of extra fat and coating to the steak so it doesn't stick. But we're gonna sear this about 1.5 minutes on each side, paying attention to the internal temperature, which right now we're still at about 114, 115, to have a final resting temperature of about 128 to 132. We've got a nice crust there. You can see some good caramelization. It created a great Maillard effect, which is what they kind of use in the French cooking world. All right, so we've went about 1.5 minutes on each the top and the bottom. Now what I like to do is roll it over to its side because we're really only gonna cook this for about 1 minute on each of the two sides. So now we're on the last side, the last and final side. We're gonna add in about 3 tablespoons of butter. This helps with the browning process as well as just adding some fat and flavor to the meat. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the heat so we don't brown our butter too bad. All right, so we're at 128 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and pull this off and we're gonna set it on our cutting board to rest. You wanna give that plenty of time because it's still gonna increase the cooking temperature. Again, if you end up getting closer to 130, 132, you're gonna be all right. Should hopefully be a nice medium all the way throughout. Could be a little bit medium rare on the thicker portion. In our family, we have some folks who don't like as much red in the meat, so we generally try to give them the smaller side or the thinner side if there is one, because there's gonna be a little bit of variance in the doneness. This is the big reveal. We've rested it for about 10 minutes, and we're gonna go ahead and remove our meat probe. Right there, that's about 128 to 130 degrees. I would say that's really good medium rare, moist, as you can see, dripping off my fingers. Again, if you've got folks who don't like it as red in your house, simply cook it to 135. Super flavorful. And what you get with the reverse sear is a medium cook or a medium rare cook. This looks really good. Beautiful piece of meat.